coming your way today for the campus of Notre Dame for the championship finale as the top 2 seeds are through. Number 1 Florida State taking on 2nd seed Duke. Duke with a thrilling win and a no-hitter against Clemson yesterday, both playing for this championship trophy. Duke has one of them, Florida State 18. 2 top teams, what more could you ask for? Florida State run-ruled Virginia Tech, taking it 9-1, but Duke, big story, Jahni Kerr, a true freshman, no-hit Clemson to advance on to this championship game. And we welcome you to Notre Dame. Pam Ward along with Jenny Dalton-Hill, who won 3 national championships at Arizona, National Player of the Year there as well. And Jenny, this is really the matchup I think everybody wanted, the top 2 seeds going against each other, and they both come in playing perhaps their best softball of the season.
You're right, Pam. Both of these teams very familiar with each other. They faced each other in the regular season, with Florida State taking 2 out of 3. But this situation here in the championship game is a win and take it all kind of game. And yesterday we saw the aces both throw in the circle, so I'm expecting to see the bullpens be unleashed.
And we saw history in the circle yesterday. Jahni Kerr, the first freshman ever to throw a no-hitter in this tournament.
Yeah, yesterday Duke took on Clemson in their semifinal game for the first time ever in ACC championship history. A freshman, Jahni Kerr, tossed a no-hitter. She stymied the Tiger hitters, racked up 8 strikeouts, and was 2 hit batters away from a perfect game in the 2-0 win. Florida State, on the other hand, had a much different kind of game against Virginia Tech. Hot bats for the Seminoles got out to an early lead thanks to a 2-run home run by Kaylee Hardy, who is now 3 for 6 in the tournament, and a complete game effort by Kathryn Sandercock in the circle, her 7th complete game of the year. Tossed 6 strikeouts. It was a big win for Florida State, the 9-1 run rule win.
And let's take a look now to compare these programs. And again, Duke has only been playing softball since 2018. 2 years ago, they beat Clemson 1-0 in the final, their only championship, just their 2nd appearance. It was the 3rd straight year, by the way, we have the same 4 teams in the semifinals, different configurations. This year, Duke and Florida State will play for the trophy. Head coaches, Lonnie Alameda, named ACC Coach of the Year again this season. Marissa Young over on the right helped start this program at Duke, has been there since day 1. And look at those winning streaks. Florida State's only blemish in there was to Virginia, the only other team than Duke to beat them in ACC play this year. And as Jenny mentioned, Duke did take 1 out of 3 games in a regular season matchup earlier in the season. Here's the Blue Devils lineup. A lot of young talent on this team. Deja Davis, though, is the veteran. She has 4 hits in this series, more than any other player that is still going. The 2023 ACC Softball Championship game is underway, and it's not Sandercock in the circle, but McKenna Reed, a true freshman.
Yeah, to have the ability to go to another ace, the one who has had the torch being passed this season, McKenna Reed, so good. Love seeing the freshman in the circle to start things off. When it comes to McKenna Reed, this is her 36th appearance on the season. Really good ball walk to strikeout numbers. A lot of that due to her great rise. Fabulous velocity, pushing 70 from the left side. Pretty good jump on that rise ball. Will throw it in any count. Lonnie Alameda would love to have her develop a bigger arsenal, but as a freshman, she didn't want to overwhelm her. So you'll see that rise ball all game long.
And yes, that graphic showed that she is unbeaten, 12-0 on the season, with an ERA that stands just at 1.00.
Well, and maybe the unique piece of this is just her 3rd start on the year. So Kathryn Sandercock, the ace for Florida State, has had a ton of starts. The young freshman, just her 3rd time getting the opener.
She's ahead of Jennings 0-2. Jennings, a true freshman herself. Sends it up the middle, and a tremendous play by Josie Muffley. Dive, grab, 1 away.
Well, and when you're pulled so close to the batter, knowing that Jennings is going to just try to tap and go, it helps this play, but it takes away your lateral movement. Muffley, great first step, able to get in there with a nice pickup for the first out.
Seminoles team that has perennially been so good defensively. Jennings robbed of a hit, and now here's Deja Davis. First pitch swinging, and it drops in front of Jahni Kerr, the center fielder.
There was nothing out there in center that Kerr could do. That ball jammed up Deja Davis just enough. She was strong enough to push it to the outfield, but that's a really nice start for Duke.
And there is the defense. You saw Kerr, Muffley already with the tremendous play. Kaylee Harding over at third base. Now that Sydney Sherrill has moved on. Bethaney Keen anchoring at first. And Michaela Edenfield has been the starting catcher for the last couple of years for Lonnie Alameda, who calls the pitches for the Noles. And now Amina Vega. There are so many freshmen that have made a big impact, not just in this league, but around the country, and Vega's one of them. Great numbers for this championship. Sends that into center. Kerr, 2 away.
And with a rise ball pitcher in the circle, you'll see a lot of outs being recorded in the air. The good news is Reed has not given up a ton of home runs this season. Only 4 home runs allowed by Reed in the circle. But with a rise ball, she's going to have to make sure that she continues to make that ball move through the zone, or Duke will capitalize.
Davis still over at first now for Anna Gold. Speaking of home runs, she has set a new single season record for Duke. She has 18 this year, breaking the mark set by Jamison Cable, since graduated, who had 17 last year. Gold from the Saratoga, New York area, has family here, and she's still looking for her first hit of the weekend. Marissa Young in her 6th year, and like John Rittman at Clemson, was in early to be the architect and literally build a program.
And she stepped in with a couple of years to be able to figure out what their stadium needed to look like and put the personnel together, redshirting some people early, bringing them on campus to try to develop a little bit of veteran leadership for a very young program.
Duke is first in the ACC, both in batting average, hits, coming in with a lot of power numbers into the ACC. And I don't know if Bill might not ever have to buy another meal for himself in Saratoga.
Yeah.
Bill called the grandfather, very proud grandfather of Anna, making the trip from Saratoga.
Yeah, we've made him famous this weekend. He's going to have a hard time going anywhere in Saratoga without being recognized.
Yeah, he might need a little entourage. 1-2 pitch to his granddaughter. Took it. Edenfield framed it nicely, but they don't get the call from home plate ump Alex Leap.
Well, and that receive by Edenfield, we know that Edenfield very good and seasoned back behind the plate, but she's going to need to receive that with a much more quiet grab. Be very strong in that receive, not let the glove tail away from the zone, and she'll be able to buy some more pitches for Reed if she's a little bit stronger in that receive.
Comes the 2-2. And there you see it, the new single season record for this 6-year-old program. Anna on the first team All-ACC squad this season, and batting in the cleanup position. Full count. Davis takes off from first. That's hammered deep into left field. If it's fair, it's...
What a grab!
A grab by Kaylee Mudge when the ball appeared to be leaving the ballpark.
Holy cow, defense early in this ball game is keeping it scoreless. Look at this pick over the wall. Kaylee Mudge, not only does she end the inning, but she keeps a big 0 on the board. Florida State coming in to pick up the bats.
Welcome back. Duke going out into the field, and we get to see Kathryn Kerr. Yes, we have 2 true freshman pitchers starting today. A couple of great defensive plays by Florida State in the top of the first inning. Kerr no-hit Clemson yesterday.
Yeah, she was 2 hit batters away from a perfect game, and Kerr stepping in for the 29th time this season, her 16th start of the year. She's only allowed 12 home runs. This Florida State team known to hit doubles, so she's hoping to keep this ball in the ballpark with some really good defense behind her. She stays up in the zone with a curve and a rise, does not have a dependable changeup, so that will be a difference maker for Florida State, knowing they don't have to attack a change of speed.
So Kerr gets the ball for the 2nd straight day. She did throw 113 pitches yesterday, and as Jenny mentioned, just 2 hit batters away from a perfect game against a Clemson team that's really good offensively. Kaylee Harding will bat 3rd. She was the MVP of this championship last year and already has a home run this season in the 2023 version. And Kaylee Mudge, who saved 2 runs, robbed Gold of a 2-run home run to end the top of the first, leads off. One of the great veterans on this team, 2nd team all-conference this season.
Well, and Kerr in the circle has really good velocity. I'm impressed by the young freshman throwing almost 70 miles an hour, but look at this defensive play by Mudge. And remember, she's not at home, so making this catch on the road, so much composure to be able to get herself to the wall, keep her eye on the ball, leap, and get an amazing grab to save the runs.
Behind Kerr now 0-2. Well high, Mudge listed at 5-6. So had to make that leap to keep the ball in the ballpark, keep us scoreless.
Well, and Mudge right now still a little bit behind the velocity of Kathryn Kerr coming out of the circle. She does like to go the other way, let the barrel sit back and drive the ball to the left side. However, right now, Kerr taking advantage early in the game before these hitters have caught up to her speed.
And a 1-2 on the way to Mudge. Kathryn Kerr did start against Florida State this season. It was the 2nd game of the 3-game set, went 6 1/3 innings to pick up the win in Game 2, a game in which Florida State started Allie Royalty in the circle. Duke's only win in that weekend series. Mudge sends it into short right field, and another leaping catch, this time by Claire Davidson. Defense has been spectacular so far.
Well, and it's defense that wins ball games and, more importantly, championships. And both of these teams know what is on the line. Duke was able to come away with the ACC championship 2 seasons ago. Last year, it was Florida State for the 18th time in their history. But today, expect to see teams going all out to be able to pull up another championship. Look at the excitement by Kerr in the circle. Her emotion in the circle is one of those things that's contagious, and I know that Duke feeds off of it.
Yeah, she will certainly get into the ball game. So Mudge, who took away a home run, turnabout fair play, right? She robbed Gold of a home run, and Davison just robbed her of a hit.
Well, and so far, every out has been recorded in the air. Both of these pitchers up in the zone, and so expect to see a lot of balls trying to leave the ballpark. Not a lot of wind here today.
Jahni Kerr stepping in now. She has 3 hits in this series. Florida State as a team hitting .327. Beat Syracuse in the quarters and then run-ruled Virginia Tech yesterday.
when Jahni Kerr, stepping in as a redshirt sophomore this season, has found her voice. She's trying to fill the void left over at third base by Sydney Sherrill, and she's more of a leader by example, but this season trying to take a more active role to lead this squad. Her average has just skyrocketed, over 120 points higher over last year.
Behind 1 and 2. Just got a piece of it to stay alive. The defense behind Cassidy Kerr. There's some veteran outfielders that they have added. Claire Davidson went over there in right. Jada Baker at short. Vega, the tremendous freshman, at second. Gold and Tapia. And Kelly Torres is a very, very solid catcher behind the dish. Cassidy Kerr mentioned how important she was after her no-hitter yesterday, and Kerr just staying alive right now.
Well, and as a freshman, Kerr in the circle has not really manipulated her windup to prevent a batter from seeing what's coming. So on that rock back, she's kind of telegraphing that change of speed with a knuckle pop. So that's what I would be looking for as a hitter, on the rock back with a knuckle pop or elevated off the ball. It's telling me that I need to go ahead and hold my hands back because there will be change of speed coming out of the circle.
What is a knuckle pop?
So when a pitcher typically grabs a ball, their fingers are all very smooth along the surface of the ball, but sometimes pitchers will fold a finger up, which will take a knuckle higher than the surface of the ball, and that's sometimes a telltale sign for a hitter to be able to figure out the different pitches that are coming from the circle. You're always looking for something that'll tip a pitcher's pitches so you can adjust on its approach.
And you can see that just that little split second when she windmills it out of her glove.
Well, you're seeing a lot of pitchers around the country going straight from the glove around into their motion, but Cassidy Kerr still rocking back with the arm before she makes that forward movement around in the circle. And so I was always looking for something on that rock back behind to tell me what kind of grip does she have. Is she spreading her fingers? Is she holding a knuckle higher to be able to tip off what she's going to be throwing to me?
Kerr's 8th pitch to Kerr, hits that squarely. Jennings able to hunt it down. We've seen some good contact.
We may not have seen a hit recorded so far, seen one hit recorded, but this right now is more about defense. This ball in the air is all about the center fielder taking the correct first step. Without that drop step to be able to gain ground, there's no way that Jennings would have been able to track that one down. It would have been to the wall. Florida State loves the double, and they're looking to keep this one gap to gap.
Florida State leads the country in doubles this season. Kaylee Harding comes up with nobody on base and 2 away. First pitch swinging, and that is Florida State's first hit of the ball game.
I mean, Kaylee Harding has done so much in this tournament. She's 3 for 6, a perfect 500, and for her, she is tattooing the ball. Not a lot of pre-motion movement, staying in her legs, very balanced, drives the ball right back where it came from.
Edenfield, pop, Gold comes in, squeezes it for the final out, and stranding Harding at first. Oh boy, a terrific play by Claire Davidson to rob Mudge of a leadoff single. Scoreless after 1 inning of play in this ACC championship, and they are coming to play.
Well, and what you're seeing is 2 teams defensively sound with a lot of confidence in their pitchers, but the defense is shining brighter than the sun today.
Yeah, the sun has decided to not make an appearance so far today. Lonnie Alameda, coach for Florida State, going into the NFCA Hall of Fame, that induction ceremony in early December in Louisville, well deserved.
Very much so. Tenured coach at Florida State in her 15th year as the head coach. Also
Softball Championship game, and those of you who just UCF win the American title, congratulations to the Knights. I'm Pam Ward, joined by Jenny Dalton-Hill. You've just missed the first inning. You've missed some great defense, but nobody has scored yet. So we have the top 2 seeds left. We name 4 semifinalists for the 3rd straight year. Florida State run-ruled Virginia Tech, and starting pitcher for Duke, Jahni Kerr, hit Clemson yesterday to get here. But Jenny Dalton-Hill, how about some glove work?
It was an impressive first inning. Florida State coming away with a great grab by Josie Muffley, and then out in field, Mudge robs the home run. It ended the first inning. It was a huge day defensively, but like, I see what I'll go ahead and see you. Defense. Claire Davidson out in right, and Deanna Jennings able to come away with big catches out in the outfield.
There is Mudge, who robbed Anna Gold of a 2-run home run. The final out of the top of the first inning. These two teams played a 3-game series in Durham, and Florida State took 2 out of the 3. Attacking McKenna Reed early, Tapia is retired by Flaherty to start the 2nd inning.
Well, in our first ground ball of the ball game, the infield hasn't had to do much. They did get the line drive by Muffley as the first out of the game, but so far that's the first ball that's found the dirt.
And now Claire Davidson, who we showed you, made that spectacular play out in right field to rob Mudge in the first inning. Another first pitch swing, that's a fair ball. Davidson sticking at first because Mudge was able to scamper over there and hold her to a single.
Well, knowing that both of these pitchers are throwing a ton of balls up in the zone, as a hitter, you've got to make sure that your approach has knob and barrel above it to keep the ball on a line, and that's exactly what Davidson was able to do. Kept her hands inside, found that spot inside the left field line. Really nice hit.
Second hit of the weekend for Davidson. They're going after all the first pitches. Mudge comes in to get Torres's liner.
Well, and what do you want to do to a starter is get them out of the game as fast as possible. So far, it looks like Duke's approach is to hit early in a count, not let Reed take them very deep into counts. They do have 2 hits on the day, but they are squaring these balls up. Florida State having to play a ton of defense.
4 first pitch balls have been put in play by 7 Duke batters, 2 of them for hits, 1 in each inning. Up in the air, and wisely, Reed and first baseman Bethaney Keen let that go foul as the sun tries to come through the clouds. The lights are on in the stadium.
When you're trying to sacrifice bunt, you want to make sure that you get the ball down. Baker very lucky that the defense was playing back far enough that that one could find the ground and trickle foul, but sacrifice bunt, an important skill to make sure that you are on top of the ball and put it on the ground.
Jada Baker, a sophomore, or pardon me, a freshman shortstop. Redshirted last year. One count on the way with Davidson over at first.
Well, and I'm impressed that Duke put a runner in motion. They do not have a stolen base in this championship. Florida State has been the team that's put a lot of pressure on teams with runners on base, but so far Duke has not tried to put anybody in motion in this championship.
It's their head coach, Marissa Young, in the third base coach's box. Also calls pitches when she's back in the dugout. That's a strikeout, first of the game for McKenna Reed.
Lots of defense has been played, but McKenna Reed finding her groove. She loves the rise ball, goes back to it. Jada Baker gets rung up. Duke gonna bring, or Florida State gonna bring up the middle of the lineup.
And so far, 4 teams are in, including the Retrievers of UMBC, Courtney Coppersmith, the ace pitcher and great student athlete, over 1,000 career strikeouts, had 11 today in the championship game over Albany. In her last season, she went in as a freshman, now gets to go back to the big show as a senior.
Yeah, we were introduced to her when she came on the scene playing in regionals at Oklahoma. They did not come away with a win
Oklahoma.
in Norman, but more than anything, excited to see the Retrievers back in the show.
Yeah, she really is a tremendous student athlete. I mean, like biomedical engineering or something that I don't understand. We are scoreless here in the bottom of the second in the ACC Championship game. Mac Leonard starting things off for Florida State. We have two true freshman pitchers going today. Jahni Kerr in the circle for Duke, who no-hit Clemson, fighting Valerie Kagels yesterday, and McKenna Reed getting just her third start of the season going for Florida State.
Well, we know that Florida State loves to hit the double. Mac Leonard has had a double in each of her last 3 games. She's 3 for 6 here in the tournament, but to see Leonard now as a leadoff hitter, she's got to shorten up and stay off that ball up in the zone.
Leonard sends that one towards the wall, bangs off the bottom, and another double for Florida State. They are the nation's best team when it comes to getting 2 baggers, and Mac did just that.
Well, here in South Bend, the ball seems to fly for Florida State. They have racked up so many doubles in this championship. Now with 109 team doubles, Mac Leonard with 3 of those. I mean, Mac Leonard has done such a good job of not trying to overswing with 2 strikes. I'm impressed with the approach of the veteran leader.
Second hit of the game off of Kerr, who no-hit Clemson yesterday. Now Waykazer tries to move Leonard along. Hallie, a sophomore from Arkansas, coming back from an injury that saw her miss all of 2021, easing her way back in. Had a terrific ending to this regular season. Pounded on the ground towards Baker. That will get Leonard over to third, first out.
And that takes great concentration at a shortstop position with the runner running in front of you. She doesn't have to get in the way, but that is hard to keep your concentration. Really good job of just staying on the ball as Leonard crossed in the path of that ball coming to her.
Thrown out by Jada Baker. Now Devyn Flaherty swinging from the left side. Second baseman for the Seminoles. Two for 5 in this championship so far.
Well, and defensively, they will go ahead and pinch Flaherty with just 1 out. They're looking to get a ground ball and keep Leonard at third. But Flaherty, another one of those double-digit doubles hitters for Florida State.
Taken high. Flaherty's second team all ACC performer. He's been the starting second baseman, pardon me, the last couple of years. And now a conversation. Kelly Torres joined by head coach Marissa Young to talk to Kerr.
Well, and Kerr was masterful yesterday in the circle for Duke. She was able to no-hit Clemson. She was 2 hit batters away from a perfect game. But she took on Clemson in their semifinal game, and for the first time ever in ACC championship history, a freshman tossed a no-hitter. She had 8 strikeouts in that matchup. It was absolutely beautiful to see the way the freshman responded under pressure in the semifinal game.
Among those strikeouts, she got Valerie Cagle once. Now after the conference, here comes a 2-0 pitch to Flaherty. Well out of the zone. Were you surprised Coach Young came back with Kerr after yesterday? They do have a veteran in Jayla Wright on the staff.
I was expecting to see Wright in the circle today. I don't think that seeing her is out of the question, even though Kerr did get the start. Flaherty
lines it. The throw home is in time to get Leonard. Cameron Jackson with the catch and the throw home. Now, a reminder, we do have replay. It would be interesting to see if this is challenged, but
yeah, out there in left, Cameron Jackson gets the catch, and down there at third, Mac Leonard trying to dive in, and that is a great catch and tag by Torres, but I think Leonard may have gotten her hand in to the plate in time. This play is being challenged by Florida State.
We have on-site replay here in South Bend, unlike the regular season model.
And what you're looking for, does the tag get applied before Leonard can touch the plate? And that's going to be tough to overturn. I don't know that that's conclusive enough. With the ball being put in exactly the right spot by Jackson out there in left field, I don't know that that throw could have been any more perfect.
Tatum Stolting is our replay official up in the booth. Direct communication to the umpires on the field, and she's still out. A tremendous play by Cameron Jackson to keep this game scoreless.
The defense in this championship game is amazing. To this point, we've seen a ton of highlight plays. This throw from Cameron Jackson in left field as Mac Leonard tried to advance and get on the board. Duke comes away with a huge out to end the inning.
Welcome back to the ACC Championship game, and you might be going, oh, it's scoreless, how boring. It's not boring, and we'll get into that in a second. First, we're going to talk about Sunday Night Baseball series finale between the Cardinals and the Red Sox at Fenway Park tomorrow. 7 Eastern time on ESPN, Deportes and Radio. Coverage starts at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with baseball tonight. Sunday night countdown, and you're not going to see the kind of defense probably that we've seen already, and we're just 2 innings in.
No, and both of these teams are sharpening up for postseason, knowing that the winner of this game gets the automatic qualifying bid to the NCAA tournament. But both of these teams will be represented in the postseason.
And we have a new pitcher, Kathryn Sandercock, the ace, who had the complete game win yesterday in the semifinal over Virginia Tech. Comes in for Reed, and the first thing she does is hit Cameron Jackson, who just threw out Mac Leonard at the plate.
I mean, right now you're seeing a huge turn of events. Not only do you get Kathryn Sandercock, the ace, the veteran leader from the circle for Florida State, but she hits the very first batter she faces in the first pitch she throws. Kathryn Sandercock, known for a dominant drop ball. She comes in with a very good changeup this season. She has also added a rise ball to her arsenal. So expect to see an entire array of pitches out of Sandercock, but with the way that the dirt is collecting in her cleats, she's going to have to make sure that she continues to get that dirt out of those spikes so that when she lands, she has a confident plant foot for those drop balls and rise balls to create vertical separation.
Yeah, we did have quite a bit of rain overnight in South Bend. That's why the semifinals were moved up yesterday, but this is artificial dirt, and it does get clumpy.
It does. It is a dirt that repels water, and we've seen that it adjusts the path of the ball on the ground, and both of these teams have had really hard shots hit at them, but they are bodying them up and making good throws across the infield.
Deanna Jennings was robbed of a base hit by Josie Muffley back in the first inning. And she steps in. This is one of the Many talented freshmen in the country, first team All-ACC, and a top 10 finalist for NFCA National Freshman of the Year, along with Jahni Kerr, their starting pitcher. Gets the bunt down, low throw, called safe. Flaherty going over from second to cover first, tried to pick it.
Well, and Pam, in this situation right here, the hard part is, do you challenge a play this early in the game, knowing that you only have one challenge left until the 6th inning? And on the bunt, the ball comes down. Edenfield able to pick it up. A good job by Flaherty to be able to come away with this one as it pulls her almost off the bag. And I think it's too early for Florida State to be able to challenge again. But from our looks, it seems that she was out over there at first base.
So they are not going to use the challenge. 2 on and nobody out. Sandercock now facing Deja Davis, who singled off Reed in the first inning. Gets it up to the screen.
But that play over at first base, such a difference maker. Flaherty at second, so good to keep her foot on the bag and get the pick. She's out, but without a challenge, they don't see that. On the field, it's ruled safe. They do not challenge it, so runners at first and second with nobody out.
She was, as we saw from that look, great look, just nipped, and Flaherty kept her foot on the bag. Davis gets the bunt down again. This time Sandercock definitively throws her out. Both runners move up 60 feet.
And station-to-station ball, so good that Duke has great short game at the top of the lineup, with Cameron Jackson getting nipped as the leadoff batter in the 9 spot. So big to be able to put these runners in scoring position for the 2 biggest bats in the lineup for Duke.
Mina Vega, another tremendous freshman who had maybe the game of her life in the quarterfinal against Georgia Tech. She was a triple short of the cycle in that game, drove in 4 runs, and an opportunity to come through here.
Well, and you mentioned it, Pam. Amina Vega in that opener against Georgia Tech was 3 for 4. She had so many big hits, came away with 4 RBI in that game. She has been a very hot bat for Duke.
Stung down the left field line, but foul. Vega with 16 multi-hit games and on a tear. Got 6 hits in her last 12 at-bats during the regular season, and has kept that going here in South Bend. One, also out of play.
Well, and Pam, with a runner at third base, Florida State trusting their defense. They're pulling them in, hoping that Vega will hit a hard shot right at one of these defenders. But because the defense on the infield is pulled in, it takes away from their ability to move laterally and cover a lot of ground. So a hard shot will find the grass and score a run for Duke.
Mac Leonard is warming up in the Florida State bullpen. Starting today is the DP, but she has gotten some innings in the circle. The Illinois State transfer in her second year at Florida State. That's way high.
And Pam, when you get to this point in a season, you know that it's all hands on deck. Mac Leonard has thrown here in the championship for the ACC, but she has not been extremely sharp. I would expect to see Kathryn Sandercock throw a bulk of these innings here today.
Two. Big strikeout for Sandercock, the ACC Pitcher of the Year this season.
Well, what makes Kat Sandercock so hard to attack this season? It's the addition of the rise ball. Last season, hitters knew that they could just sit down in the zone, but this season, Kat Sandercock using that ball with a little bit of an upspin to be able to elevate the eye, get the swing and the miss for her second strikeout of the game.
So first base is open, 2 away. Anna Gold coming up. Anna almost hit a home run her last time up, but and boy, Sandercock, what a terrific career she's had, and just another in a long line of really, really good Florida State pitchers.
And 22-3 on the season with an ERA just above 1. Maybe the most impressive game of the season, though, was that no-hitter that she threw against Syracuse. Took just 37 pitches to be able to record that win. And the amazing piece of that one, it was her first no-hitter of her career.
Yeah, that was surprising. Sandercock has won 15 straight decisions, including the complete game victory yesterday in the semifinal against Virginia Tech. She threw 81 pitches in 6 innings, very efficient, trying to get herself out of this jam. Hit by pitch on the very first that she threw today, and then a infield single. Sack bunt gets the runners to second and third. Here's Gold, who's dangerous and the most prolific home run hitter in a season for Duke. Has 18 this year. That's a record.
Well, and we've had this conversation all season long. In a situation with the biggest hitter up and a base open, would you throw to them? And it was one of the conversations we had with the head coach for Florida State, Lonnie Alameda. She said it would depend on the situation. I fully expected her to go to the circle and intentionally walk Gold, but they're going to go right at her.
And she hits her second batter that Sandercock has plunked in this inning.
Well, and Gold standing really close to the plate. It looks as though that arm guard is over the plate when she gets hit, but the home plate umpire, Alex Leap, determines that she will be awarded first base.
It's the 10th time that Gold has been hit by a pitch high. That's the most, pardon me, for anybody on Duke. So sort of not a huge deal, right? Because you load the bases, there's 2 outs, and here's Tapia, who has only 1 hit this weekend. Trying to make them pay. Giselle, a senior from Long Beach, California. Second team all-conference this season.
She was tabbed as a utility in 2022. But they realize this season they need her bat in the lineup and has bought into a new role.
A 1 pitch with the bases loaded and 2 away. Sandercock delivers low. Tapia, the starting first baseman this year for the Devils.
She's been a big leader for them, brings stability to the lineup. With just 7 strikeouts on the season, she puts the ball in play, and that's what Duke is hoping for in this pressure-filled situation.
Now 1-2. Among all of the impressive statistics for Sandercock this year, she was unbeaten in ACC play. Big situation with the bases loaded.
And with everyone on the defense for Florida State with the armband, they all know what pitch is coming. That helps them anticipate hit location, and so As the call comes from the dugout, every defender looks at that call to make sure that they know where Kathryn Sandercock will be throwing the ball through the zone.
So Edenfield at the last second pop out a little bit to receive the ball that was just off the plate. Tapia swung, missed, and Sandercock got out of the bases loaded jam she got herself into.
So much composure by the veteran in the circle. She doesn't use the drop ball like last year. She's changed up her game. She's going up in the zone and gets her third strikeout here today.
Welcome back to South Bend, Indiana. That's the St. Joseph River. We had gosh, the first couple of days here were absolutely gorgeous with temperatures in the 70s. And this is an exciting scoreless game, and believe us. Congratulations to UCF, back-to-back American champions. They run with Tulsa. And Bev Smith in South Carolina with some incredible walk-off wins. Our 7th inning win's going to take on top seed Tennessee on ESPN in about an hour or so. And the first ever Pac-12 tournament championship, top seed UCLA taking on Utah.
Yeah, UCLA #1 in the pack, trying to come away with the first ever Pac-12 championship.
Oh man, it's going to be exciting. And tomorrow is Selection Sunday, 7 Eastern time. Get to see where all your teams are going. Scoreless as we go to the bottom of the third. Duke just left the bases loaded. Florida State leading things off with Bethaney Keen, who has solidified the first base defensive position for Lonnie Alameda. Comes in hitting .230 on the season. This is her 19th start, pardon me, really taking over that spot later on in the year.
Yeah, Bethaney Keen has stepped into the shoes of Mac Leonard. Typically, we were seeing Keen only play first base when Leonard was pitching, but as of late, Leonard has moved to the DH and Keen has moved defensively to first.
Keen, who went to USF, where she was a starting first baseman there, then took a medical red shirt. Last year, only played 13 games and went to Florida State camps growing up. And here she is wearing that uniform. Florida State, the defending tournament champions, trying to go back-to-back. Duke won it the year before that. It's kind of the way it should be, right? Top 2 seeds in this final.
Well, it's been crazy to see how quickly Duke and Clemson have risen to the top of the ACC, knowing that they are the newest programs coming into the conference, but just Duke in their 6th year already with a championship under their belt.
Did that in 2021, the 1-0 win over Clemson.
That was a pitcher's duel that
Yes.
year as well. Peyton St. George for Duke. Big showing for them, going against Valerie Cagle.
Two to Keen. See Kelly Torres getting that helmet off in a hurry and then apologized to Keen for bumping into her. I had a chance to talk to her a couple of days ago. She was thrilled. She got her first career triple.
Yeah, she said, I've never done that before. I was so excited. She was pretty animated over there on third base after that big hit to right.
She does a great job with this Duke pitching staff, including the true freshman Kerr, who got the start for the 2nd straight day after no-hitting Clemson. We will be speaking with head coach Marissa Young between innings. I intend to ask her about that decision, just to let you know.
Yeah, I was surprised to see Kerr back in the circle, knowing that she threw so many pitches yesterday. She is a young and talented arm, but I truly thought we would see Jayla Wright with the start for them today.
She threw 113 pitches yesterday in the no-hitter against Clemson. Another 2-2 on the way to Keen.
I like this zone by Alex Leap back behind the plate. It's staying very consistent. The hitters are able to go into the box knowing where that strike zone will be.
Full count. Keen leading off the third.
This is a good battle by Keen in the box, hitting everything close to the zone. Has not found the one pitch she really wants to unleash on, but she's keeping the at-bat alive as the pitches on the corners continue to just get fouled off.
Tenth pitch of the at-bat coming. Josie Muffley on deck for the Noles.
Nice job by Keen. She does not have a hit in this championship yet. Not known for a ton of power. She's not looking to hit the ball over the fence. Her average is lower than last season, but she steps in with a ton of confidence with a season of work behind her.
Getting more and more at bats as the season has gone along. Pitch number 11 in this at bat.
Well, and Pam, if you want a souvenir, you probably just need to stand just beyond the first base grandstand, knowing that, or the third base grandstand, knowing that out beyond those walls, there's a ton of foul balls that you can go pick up.
Yeah, and that's the Florida State side. That's where their fans are camped behind their dugout. 12th pitch of this at bat. Playable at third for Gold. 12 pitches. Good job by Kerr to hang in there. Let's take a look and compare these programs. Florida State's been around a whole lot longer. 18 championships, their 18th coming last year. Duke getting one a couple of years ago, but this is a team that, if it were human, would be in first grade. That's how young it is.
Well, and
6.
We've seen them rise so quickly to the top. Marissa Young has led this young program to national seeding in the last year and potentially this season as well.
Yeah, it really didn't take them long at all to make a splash. Coach Young said that going to Duke was a dream come true with academics, very good conference. And here is Josie Muffley, who had no home runs until the last day of the regular season, when she hit one and they closed out a sweep against Louisville, and then had one against Syracuse in the first game of this championship. Still batting ninth. Really good shortstop for this team.
Well, it was a huge hit by Muffley in that opener, and she was so excited because this is not a typical at bat for Josie Muffley. It didn't get out by much, but look at this. Mudge and Harding able to welcome her home the way that she's had to do all of her teammates all season long.
Down 1-2 to Kerr. Kind of lifts it to Davidson for the second out. And the first time through the lineup, Kerr with just given up a couple of hits, has not struck anybody out yet. But most importantly, and due in large part, we had a runner thrown out at the plate, a couple of spectacular defensive plays. It's still scoreless. Mudge was robbed of a hit by Davidson out in right, her first time up. Gets the bunt down, it's a beauty. She is safe. Torres pounced on it.
Really good job of recognizing that the defense was a little bit back against her. Drops it right into no man's land. Very good spot. Uses her wheels down the line. And when you can't get on with a big hit, go ahead and use the one thing that never slumps, and that thing's speed.
Jahni Kerr lined out to center her first time up. Coming up at the top of the next hour, the SEC final between top seed Tennessee and number 10 seed South Carolina. The Gamecocks, the lowest seed ever to make it to the championship game. That will be on ESPN.
Yeah, and what a big tournament for them, knowing that they came in without high expectations. 3 consecutive walk-off wins to pull them into the finals.
Kerr stings it. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Muffley runs well. She's waved home and will score on the RBI hit by Kerr with 2 outs.
Well, and how does Florida State like to score? With the double. Kerr does it again. A huge hit all the way to the wall. In the outfield for Duke, all they can do is turn and run. Jackson Jennings track it down, the throw back in. A little over the head of Baker, so it's an easy advancement for Mudge. Florida State on the board, and another double for Florida State.
They had an ACC Championship Series record 5 yesterday in their semifinal win over Virginia Tech. They have a couple more today as Marissa Young goes out to talk to her freshman. That is Kerr's first run allowed in this championship. 11 1/3 innings pitched over the 3 games. Kaylee Harding had a single her first time up against Kerr. Pounces it, but it's foul.
Well, Pam, that one was absolutely laced. That got down the line so quickly. And when you attack a hitter like that from the circle, I always expected to see a changeup in the next pitch, knowing I was so far out ahead. But Kerr does not have a changeup to go to. So continue to see velocity out of the circle. Harding just needs to time that up a little bit better to take it back into fair territory.
And I would think, I mean, very good pitcher. She's a true freshman, only lost 1 game all year, and that was in a stretch where she actually no-hit Longwood, but they had an unearned run that beat them in a midweek late in the season. She no-hit Valerie Cagle and the rest of the Clemson Tigers yesterday, and she's going to be taken out right now. Marissa Young going to take her out mid-at-bat against Harding, rather unusual.
It's hard as a hitter to adjust mid-at-bat, but Marissa Young seeing an opportunity to change up the mojo and attack Florida State. We will meet the new pitcher on the other side.
It's Lily Walker.
Florida State able to break up the scoreless game here in South Bend. Kaylee Mudge, top of the lineup, a little drag bunt to change things up. And with her on first base, Jahni Kerr, a ball that went all the way to the wall. Mudge able to use her wheels, plate the first run for Florida State. Another double for Jahni Kerr. Florida State now with a 1-0 lead.
And with the 1-1 count on Kaylee Harding, head coach Marissa Young, who you see flashing in the signs to the pitcher, took out Kerr in favor of Lily Walker. Another lefty. There's your changeup.
Well, and Pam, Lily Walker in the circle, a much different look from the left side. Yes, Kerr and Walker both lefties, but Walker coming in with much slower velocity and has great command of her changeup. So that's the difference and why Duke has gone to this pitcher in the circle.
Walker did get an inning of work in the quarterfinal win over Georgia Tech. Did not allow a base runner and came in to finish off Harding, but The RBI double by Kerr puts Florida State on top. We'll talk to Marissa Young when we come back. Welcome back to the ACC on ESPN and the ACC Softball Championship. And what a game it has been so far. Florida State has just taken a 1-0 lead over Duke. We've seen some tremendous defense so far in this game. And we are joined now by Marissa Young, the head coach for Duke. And coach, first off, you go with Kerr, who got the no-hitter yesterday. And so the decision to go with her to start today and then to take her out mid-at-bat with Harding.
Yeah, she threw a heck of a game yesterday, but her pitch count was pretty high. We knew that we were going to have to pitch by committee today and felt like give her the start, see how long we could go. And Lily Walker's always ready to come in and mix things up. And she just comes in and did exactly what we needed her to do.
Well, and that nasty changeup, so good by Lily Walker. When it comes to how you want to attack Kathryn Sandercock, we know you have Sydney Romero now on staff as your hitting coach. What is it that you're looking to do offensively to attack the veteran in the circle?
I think we really need to stay disciplined to the zone. Kat does a great job of mixing the up and the down, and I think we're just getting ourselves out by chasing outside the zone today.
All right, Coach, thanks as always. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
All right, Marissa Young's done a tremendous job, and Sydney Romero, who played at Oklahoma and was such a tremendous out in the, as a defender. She won 2 as a player, 2 as a grad assistant, and Coach Young, when we talked to her earlier in the season, talked about how valuable she's been with her team now as a young coach.
Yeah, when she came on campus, she was immediately loved and respected, and Coach Young actually got a kick out of the fact that some of the players on the roster cried when they saw Sid for the first time. It was pretty cool to be able to bring in such a good player and now good coach into this Duke program.
Claire Davidson starting things off here in the 4th inning. And she said it was actually Kelly Torres, the catcher, who cried on her first Zoom with Sydney Romero. And we asked if any of the players for Duke fangirled Sydney Romero. And she goes, "Oh, yes, they did," which is great. Davidson down 0-2, and part of it that I think is great is it's showing that these other softball players are watching softball, and they were watching Sid Romero before they got to Duke when they were coming up, and the influence of ESPN getting these games on, and the fact that they were fangirling Romero is nice, and now she's coaching them.
Well, in the national championships she won were in 2016 and 2017. So these players for Duke were probably middle school at that point. So very impressionable time. So they're playing for maybe one of their softball heroes.
Oklahoma playing for the Big 12 championship as we speak. They've lost 1 game all year. And they are creeping up on the longest winning streak in the history of softball, held currently by Arizona. 1-2 to Davidson, who singled off Reed her first time up. Strikeout made official, 2nd in a row for Sandercock, 3rd in her last 4 batters. The inaugural XFL championship game is tonight. It's Arlington against the DC Defenders in San Antonio. Coverage starts at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. Championship Saturday for softball continues, leading up to the selection show tomorrow night. Regionals start next weekend, always a very hectic time. But a very fun time, all culminating in Oklahoma City. Kelly Torres, who we just talked about. Great personality, too, for this catcher, who was so excited when she first did a Zoom with Coach Romero.
Well, and she's had a lot on her plate this season, sitting back behind the dish. There's 5 solid arms that have been throwing for Duke this season, and she really is the only catcher to be able to step in and handle all 5 of those arms.
The same for her counterpart in Edenfield, who has been the primary catcher for Florida State the last couple of years. Florida State using a lot of pitchers as well.
They are, but it's so important to have a strong catcher back behind the dish because they have to handle so many different personalities in the circle. They have to know when to approach, how to approach a pitcher who might be struggling. Edenfield, 7 different arms that she has to handle back there for Florida State.
1-1 to Torres, who flew out her first time up. Sandercock came in to relieve the starter, true freshman McKenna Reed, to begin the third inning. And boy, it was an adventure. She loaded the bases, a couple of hit batters, infield bunt, but got out of it with the strikeout of Tapia.
When you think about how long a season is for both of these teams back there behind the plate, there's a lot of wear and tear on those catchers back behind the dish. They have to try to find ways to keep them fresh, so there are backup catchers or second string catchers that do come in and catch every once in a while. But when you hit the postseason and championship time, you're seeing the starter have to wear a lot of those pitches.
We saw Lopresti last week for a spell against Louisville after Florida State had clinched that series. She caught for a couple of innings, and Edenfield came right back in. But yeah, that's a lot of wear and tear. A lot of games in a short amount of time, oftentimes playing in very hot climates. Two for Duke's catcher, Torres. And as Edenfield stands up, you see there's a big difference physically between these two catchers.
Well, it was one of the things that Edenfield attacked in the offseason, knowing that it was going to be a long year. She hit the weight room and really started to work on her physique, knowing that a long season would take a toll on her body. Coach Alameda talked about how she just has tried to prepare herself to be able to be fresh and ready here at the end of the season.
Oh, that changeup was nasty, froze Torres. That's now 3 straight strikeouts and 4 of the last 5 batters for Sandercock.
Well, and after a couple of miscues early on for Sandercock, those hit batters last inning, she has found herself settling down back in the circle. Sandercock, so good. Uses the rise, uses the drop, and there, that nasty changeup to change up the speed and freeze Torres.
2 away for Jada Baker, who struck out against departed starter McKenna Reed her first time up. '30th pitch of the game for Sandercock since coming in to start the third. Right up the middle, Muffley has to charge, does it beautifully. Baker lost all of the cards from her armband on the way up to first. We'll talk to Lonnie Alameda when we come back. Welcome back to the ACC Championship on the campus of Notre Dame. That's the trophy they're playing for. Florida State with a 1-0 lead over Duke. The defending champions, joined now by head coach Lonnie Alameda. You went with your baby in the circle, McKenna Reed, and then brought Sandercock in. Now, I know your philosophy with pitchers this year has been interesting as a true staff. What went into your thought process for the championship game?
Yeah, definitely you want to get Kenny out there as much as we can in moments. And, I mean, both of us have some pretty good freshmen, which is kind of exciting to see them on the stage. So, yeah, see Duke swinging it. I think the experience with Kat. And then, of course, we all have pitchers up our sleeves, right, to pull out like here. So, so it's pretty awesome. Pretty cool moment.
Well, and a couple years ago, you guys changed kind of your mindset onto how you wanted to score. Doubles has been the thing of this season. You've got really great approach by your hitters. What is the game plan coming into this one? Hitting against a new pitcher that has a big change of speed.
I mean, we faced these guys. It was early in the season, but we've definitely seen, you know, kind of what they do. Marissa calls a good game. So, I mean, with Kerr, you got to get on top of the rise ball. I mean, she's spins it really well, and you got to see it in the zone and let her expand it. So here, you know, obviously a timing issue, right? So you got to be able to let the ball, you know, get a little deep or pick one or the other, you know, and get one in. But I mean, it's just all about timely hitting, having good quality at-bats. Even BK right there, she flew out, but it was a really good at-bat. So getting the momentum going, you know, from just really good quality plate appearances.
And your defense has been spectacular as well. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank
Go
you,
on out
guys.
to first base.
Thank you.
Yes, Coach Lonnie Alameda is coaching first base today. Usually doesn't do that. That's because her assistant, Kaylee Rafter, she's the head coach of Team Canada. She had to go across the border to attend to some Team Canada baseball duties, and so Lonnie, she's not getting any respite. She calls pitches with her team out in the field, and now she is coaching first base with Travis Wilson in his usual spot at third. Pam Ward and Jenny Dalton-Hill joining you. This has been a really fun championship game so far.
It definitely has, but I need to make sure that the softball world doesn't get upset. She's going back for Team Canada softball, not baseball. So
did I say baseball?
You did, but it was okay. We fixed it now.
What's wrong with me? Well, that would take way too long. I apologize. Yeah, she's the head coach. She could be a head coach for baseball, but she is the head coach for Team Canada softball. Thanks, Jen.
Well, and the unique piece about it is Troy Cameron, an assistant coach who's in the dugout for Florida State, has been a coach for USA Baseball. So they're a really good hold-up by Edenfield.
Edenfield leading things off here in the bottom of the fourth inning. RBI double by Jahni Kerr in the third inning, the only scoring we've had so far. First time these two programs have met in a championship game. Top two seeds who will most certainly get into the NCAA tournament, have some hosting in the regionals next weekend. Edenfield popped out her first time up against Cassidy Kerr, the freshman who no-hit Clemson yesterday, got the start today, went 2 1/3 innings. 2 2/3 innings, pardon me, and then Walker came in and struck out Harding.
Well, and she's still invested in the game. She's in the dugout charting for Lily Walker, who took over for her in the circle. She stands next to head coach Marissa Young and then gives out the call to the defense for what pitch needs to be thrown from the circle.
Full count. Edenfield lets the changeup go by, and it's misses. Leadoff walk here in the fourth. Big dates coming up here. We are in May. Selection show is tomorrow. Regionals next weekend. Super Regionals a weekend after that. And the Women's College World Series begins on June 1st in Oklahoma City. Belvi comes in to pinch run for Edenfield.
Great communication there by Edenfield, passing it on to Mac Leonard, another big hitter for Florida State. It is hard to attack a change of speed. Edenfield showed great discipline to put herself on via the walk, but Leonard going to need to stay in there and pick whether she wants to hit the changeup or wait for velocity.
So we've already had some tickets punched so far on this championship Saturday. UCF back-to-back championships in the American, and since the last time we have an update, both Boston University and Eastern Illinois have gotten in. Again, selection show tomorrow night, 7 Eastern on ESPN2. And yes, the Retrievers of UMBC.
Yeah, by winning their conference tournament, they get the automatic qualifying nod. Florida State on the move, another stolen base. So impressed with how Florida State continues to put pressure on the defense. Belvi, the pinch runner, with a really good leadoff, can't leave contact with first base until the ball leaves the pitcher's hand with the throw high. It's an easy stolen base for Belvi, sliding in head first and putting herself in scoring position.
Her fourth stolen base. Her fifth stolen base, no, fourth in 5 tries. Sorry, it is indeed her fourth of the year. Pinch running for Edenfield, and now Leonard with an opportunity. Leonard doubled her last time up and was thrown out on a brilliant play by Cameron Jackson in the second, trying to score on a tag up from third. Oh, that is nasty.
You're right, Pam. It is nasty. And it's so hard because the spin is what is so deceiving. When a ball is spinning hard, it deceives the eye to make you think it's coming in with velocity. As a hitter, you have to trust your instincts. That changeup fools Leonard. Huge strikeout.
Second of the day, second in 3 batters for Walker. Waycaser grounded out her first time up. Neither team has been able to come through with runners in scoring position. Kerr's RBI double came with Mudge on first base, and Mudge is fast, so she was able to motor around and score. Back in the 3rd inning. Jahni Kerr continuing to be not just engaged with Marissa Young in the pitch calling, but encouraging her teammates as well on the field. Up in the air, Belvi's going to tag, and she's going. More aggressive base running, and she just slides in safely.
Duke is putting these throws right on the money. So while the out is recorded in center field, the speed of Belvi just too much to catch up to. Does a good job of coming back and watching and advancing on her own. That is definitely not easy. That throw right on the money, but the tag applied a little high up the leg. So the foot able to get into the bag before the tag applied. Good call by Robbie Guest, our umpire over there at third base.
Looks like they're going to take a look at it, but I mean, I thought she was just messing with us. That Belvi was doing that to induce a throw, maybe, but she was going, and you think that had to be entirely her own decision?
I don't know that it's her own decision, but when an outfielder is moving away from where they're going to throw, it does give you a better chance to advance, especially with the speed of Belvi. It's because as an outfielder, if you're not able to move through that catch, you're not going to be able to put as much velocity on that throw.
That's correct. Replay works again. Jennings with a good throw, but boy, Belvi's a really good and fast runner. That's why they put her in there. Stolen base and advancing on a sac fly to center field. So now she's at third. There are 2 away. Devyn Flaherty. She's the one who lined out and then
Flaherty did not like that call. Had a big fly ball out to left in her last at bat.
It sails out. Elsie Riggs, our ACC studio staff, still hanging out here, waiting to work. Hanging out and waiting to work. Down that right field line. Flaherty, the gold, inning over. Belvi stranded at third. Still 1-0 Florida State after 4.
Sandercock, a veteran ace in the circle, had a rocky start but has come back strong. 4 strikeouts on the day, and she's using a whole arsenal of pitches. She went up, she went down, she's used the changeup, but so far able to keep Duke scoreless.
And Kathryn Sandercock coming in to relieve McKenna Reed to start the 3rd inning. It was definitely a rocky road for her. First 5 batters, first pitch, she hit a batter, so a couple of hit batters, hit, strikeout, but the last 4, she's found her groove.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic. She hit that first batter on the very first pitch coming out of the circle in relief in the 3rd inning, but Kat Sandercock settled down quickly and has grabbed 4 strikeouts in the past 6 batters.
Cameron Jackson was the first batter she faced in the 3rd and was hit by that pitch. And there was an infield single by Jennings, a sac bunt, strikeout, another hit by pitch to load the bases, but Sandercock struck out Tapia to end the inning. Duke left the bases loaded. Duke has left 5 on through the first 4 innings. Florida State has left 4 on base, but the difference so far is the RBI double by Jahni Kerr. Kathryn Sandercock is just one in a long line of great pitchers, and she talked about the legacy. Talk about how you don't own the jersey, you rent it, you try to leave it in a better place than you found it.
Well, that was the legacy that was passed on to her by Megan King, who redshirted her freshman season and tried to pass on those lessons learned to a young Kathryn Sandercock when she stepped on campus for the Seminoles.
Right through Muffley's legs, chased down by Mudge, and a very rare error for Muffley gets Jackson onto second base to start the 5th.
Well, and we've seen defensive miscues because of this infield mix. It is a dirt that does not absorb water, and with that, it's given some funky hops. That one, though, right through the wickets. Why does Muffley play it that way? Well, remember her hockey background. It looked as though she was going down like a goalie to block it rather than move through it. A shortstop needs to stay aggressive through the ball. Muffley sat back, let the ball eat her up, and with nobody out, Duke with a runner in scoring position.
And Josie Muffley with her 9th error of the season. But again, playing shortstop, and that is Florida's first error of the tournament. Now in their 3rd game. Sets up the top of the order, and Deanna Jennings. Infield single back in that chaotic 3rd inning, in which Duke left the bases loaded.
Well, you never want to put a leadoff runner on, especially when you flip the lineup over to the 4 hottest hitters in Duke's lineup. Speed at the top and power right behind.
Jennings has a hit, broke, I should say, Deja Davis's record for a hit streak coming into this tournament.
Well, Jennings stays so far away from the plate because she is prone to stepping across that line and being called out of the box. So she stands really far away from the plate, hoping that left crossover foot does not leave the box on her short game.
Gets the bunt down. Tough play for Sandercock. They get her, but it also gets Jackson over to 3rd with just 1 out.
Good job moving the runner. Her foot was out of the box at contact, but neither of the umpires at home or second able to pick that one up. She does move the runner. Great job using short game. As a veteran comes to the plate, who's been hot as of late.
Deja Davis, 5-year starter for this Duke program. Playing through a knee injury that has sent her into the DP role. .390 on the season. Her final season starter since she stepped on campus. Cameron Jackson 60 feet away from tying this game up.
Big swing by Davis. She leads the team in doubles, has had a huge series or huge championship tournament. 2 doubles in it, 5 for 8 in the tournament. But now with 2 strikes and the infield pulled in, my approach as a hitter would be to shorten up and just poke this one through the infield and put my team on the board.
She's behind 1 and 2 to Sandercock.
I like that swing, very quiet in her pre-motion, short and quick to the ball, balanced through her legs. We know that her knees have given her a problem while at Duke, but now sitting in that DH role, able to focus entirely on her offensive production.
Deep breaths for Davis. Another 1-2 pitch on the way. Wow. Big strikeout again for Sandercock. Her 5th.
Well, and when pressure situations hit, sometimes your mind can go a little too quick. With that ball in the dirt, Edenfield has to go to first base for the out because first base was not occupied. So a good job of clearing the lane and giving her an opportunity for a clear throw down to first base. Duke still an out to work with another big hitter to the plate.
Yeah, not out of the woods yet. It's Amina Vega. First time she faced Kat today, she struck out.
And she was susceptible to the rise ball. Her strikeout was on the ball, up in the zone, big swing and miss to be sat down. So you know that as she steps in, she's going to try to be a little bit more disciplined at that ball at the letters. Good job holding up on that one. Even on the appeal, they say no swing. Sandercock can't believe it. But one of the things that Sandercock has been so good about this year is talking to her infield. She's done such a good job of finding her voice and leading, not just by example, but coming in and communicating with everybody on the field.
The 2-0. That time she did go. Robbie Guest down there at third said she swung. And what does Jenny say?
Yeah, she broke the plane of the plate for sure. Out in front of the plate, just couldn't hold it up. And Sandercock coming in with some pretty good velocity. It makes it difficult because you have to make your decision so early. You never want to come out of that yes, yes, no mindset as a hitter.
2-1. Now a 3-1 on the way. Anna Gold on deck.
And she'd been going up in the zone so often. That one does not tunnel well with her previous pitches, so it's an easy hold up for Vega.
Got away from Edenfield, coming in from third. Jackson ties the game.
And that pitch got away from Edenfield, and from a team that we have anticipated having great defense from this ball up in the zone, Edenfield takes her eye off of it the last second, and down the line, aggressive base running. Gotta love when you are able to capitalize on a miscue. Duke evens the score on the ball to the backstop.
Duke gets a run without getting a hit. It was Muffley's error that started things off. Two-base error. Jackson leading off, went right between her legs. She advanced to third to Jackson on a sacrifice bunt. Davis struck out. Vega walked, and we saw the pass ball that allowed Jackson to score the unearned run from third.
Well, and that's why ground balls are so important. It requires a defense to do so much more to get the out. We saw a ton of fly balls and balls in the air at the beginning of the game. Those are easy outs, but as you put the ball in play on the ground, it's harder.
Picked up right in front of the third by Harding. Gold is called safe, and another bang-bang play.
And while Gold was fast down the line, I would love to see her hit the front of the bag. She comes over the top of the bag a little bit. Really good job to hustle down the line. That ball was fielded behind third base by Kaylee Harding. So it's the longest throw across the diamond to try to get that one as an out. Can't come away with it, and Duke keeps the inning alive. Just so hard out of the box. I love the hustle down the line. She knows that those wheels are the only thing that are going to keep the inning alive. So what you're looking for is the ball, are the fingers of the glove curling around the ball before she hits the bag. And look at that, great job hitting the front of the bag. That makes this so close.
Looking at it upstairs in the booth to our left, Tatum Stolting, the replay umpire, with this four-person umpiring crew today on the field.
And Pam, that's a bang-bang play. I don't know if there's enough to change this call.
And this is the longest amount of time we've had to get a review in games we've called this weekend. She is still safe. And I think you're right, Jenny. There was not enough evidence to overturn it, even if she had been beaten by the ball.
Well,
so
kudos to Gold down the line. When she hit that ball, she busted out of the box. That is the only way she beats that out. So right there, the heart coming away with a big one to be able to use her wheels down the line. Huge, huge at bat for Gold, who's known for the long ball and big hits in this tournament. She comes away with really aggressive base running to get herself on.
So that was a really nice play by Harding, just to field it and get rid of it, and got a lot of zip on the throw. But Gold's hustle just beat it out. Gold at first, Vega at second with 2 out for Tapia. Seminole defense has been so strong. Muffley's error to start off this inning, their first of this championship series, this championship weekend. Tapia 0 for 2 today, trying to get things kick-started. Just 1 for 8 in the tournament. Tapia chops it to Flaherty. Little underhand flip to Keen to end the inning, but the damage is done. A 2-base error to start things off, and then a pass ball.
Aggressive base running all the way around for Duke, puts him on the board, evens the score.
Welcome back to the ACC Softball Championship final, and Long Island has joined into the party. Congratulations to them. Selection show coming up tomorrow, 7 Eastern time on ESPN2. SEC Championship is underway as well. How many will the ACC get in? Let's see now. There's a little line there under Louisville. Jenny Dalton-Hill, you think those 5 should get in?
I think those 5 are pretty safe. Louisville is a bubble team, but they've put together a pretty good body of work that gives them that 32 RPI ranking. That ranking is determined by not just your record, but your opponent's record and your opponent's record. So it is not something that it's calculated. It is numerically calculated. It's not the eye test. I know a lot of those teams, especially Notre Dame, are hoping the eye test come into play for the committee because their RPI sitting a little bit outside of a comfortable zone.
Katie Dack pinch hitting to start off a 1-1 game. In the bottom of the 5th inning, an unearned run by Duke at the top has tied this game up. Pam Ward and Jenny Dalton-Hill joining you from South Bend on a cloudy, rather chilly afternoon. Dack hitting for Keen, who popped up in a 12-pitch at bat against Lily Walker, who came in to relieve starter Cassidy Kerr in the 3rd inning.
It was just a couple of weeks ago that Florida State was here playing at Notre Dame in parkas and knit caps. Today the Seminoles all in sleeves, as Duke doesn't have those sleeves on. They're used to this weather a little bit more.
Well, I did see one player over in the dugout. It looked like she had a hoodie covering her arms. But gorgeous weather here the first few days of this tournament. Some rain last night that we avoided by moving up the semifinal games a couple of hours. Dack punches it out to Vega. Tonight at 10 Eastern on the ACC Network and the ESPN app, the All-ACC team has a complete wrap-up of the day in baseball, as well as this softball championship game, highlights, analysis, and interviews with players and coaches. We've had Kelsey Riggs, Brittany McKinney, and Alex Powers on site with us. So great to see them in person instead of just on a monitor, which we've been doing all season, and doing a great job, and excited for this championship. Another chance for Vega. Retires Muffley on 1 pitch, does Lily Walker.
Well, and Brittany, a fabulous player at North Carolina. Alex, an amazing player at Florida State. You know that kind of representation in the studio helps us out because they know what it's like to play in these big-time situations in the ACC.
Lily Walker, a couple of quick ground ball outs to start the 5th. Now here's Mudge. Robbed of a hit her first time up and scored the only run, got on with the bunt, and then came around to score on Kerr's double. Walker continuing to use that off speed. She's a junior from Oklahoma who really has not pitched that much at all. Did have a combined no-hitter with Jayla Wright against Charleston Southern this year, but limited innings her first 2 years on campus.
Yeah, has thrown more this year with 43 2/3 innings coming into this appearance. But it's that changeup that really makes her difficult to hit. Not afraid to use it back to back. And it's a floaty change. It spins pretty well. It deceives the eye of the hitter. That spin makes the eye think it's coming in with more velocity. It's hard to hold up on it, and then you're double clutching and just can't get the bat off your shoulder at times.
Mudge did hit a home run off of Duke in their regular season series. That was the only run and a 2-1 loss. The middle game of that 3-game set. Florida State took 2. Mudge sends Jackson back. First time Florida State has been retired in order. We go to the 6th, tied up in the title game. Yes, the Women's College World Series coming up June 1st, noon on ESPN. Championship Saturday today, Selection Sunday tomorrow. We have a great one going on here. 1-1 between Florida State and Duke in the ACC Championship. UCF has won another America Championship back-to-back. SEC tournament final about to start on ESPN, and then tonight UCLA and Utah in the Pac-12 tournament over on ESPN Plus. Right now, in the top of the 6th inning, Oklahoma's beating Texas 4-1 in that championship game.
Oklahoma's win streak right now is absolutely outrageous, chasing that all-time hit streak set by Arizona back in the 90s.
They have just been dominating college softball. Patty Gasso and company. Right now we've got a tremendous final. Florida State and Duke locked up at 1 apiece in the top of the 6th inning. Kathryn Sandercock replacing starter McKenna Reed to start out the 3rd inning. An unearned run for Duke in the last inning. Florida State a Jahni Kerr RBI double. Keen with the nice play at first retires Davidson, and that's why she's out there. Coach Lonnie Alameda talking about how you needed to shore up that position defensively a little bit. You might recall last year in the ACC tournament there were some issues over there at first, and she said you don't know how important a good defensive first baseman is until you don't have one.
And that play made possible by a very aggressive move forward to pick her hop. Good job defensively over there at first.
Kelly Torres 0 for 2 so far in this game. Talked about Oklahoma up 4-1 on Texas. They win today. It will be their 43rd straight game. Arizona's record 47 set over 2 seasons, 96 going into 97. As in 1996 going into 1997. Last century.
And they're 50-1 on the year. That one blemish coming to Baylor early in the season.
That Big 12 championship had to go to ESPN Plus, the streaming service, because they had to move it up, weather moving into the area. But when this game is finished here, that will re-air here on ESPN2. So you will get a chance to see the Big 12 championship. Full count, Torres sends it in to center field, and that's a really good running catch by Kerr. She had to go a long way.
Defense in the outfield's all about angles, and out there in center, Jahni Kerr, she's not just fast, but she's so smart in the angle that she takes to that ball. Really good job of taking an aggressive first step and using her speed to get the out.
Number 13, Francesca
Freelick is pinch hitting for Jada Baker, and the longest active win streaks. Florida State taking a 15-game winning streak into this game. UCLA 25 straight. They play Utah tonight in the Pac-12 final. Oklahoma's won 42 straight since they lost to Baylor this season. These are active winning streaks right now. Yep.
Well, and the crazy thing about it, when you look in the record book, Oklahoma has all 4 of the records behind Arizona's 47. So they own 42 currently, but they also have stretches of 41 and 2 stretches of 40 consecutive wins.
Freelick takes a strike. A junior from Lexington, Massachusetts, who had been doing some starting catching late last season. Now Kelly Torres has taken over that position this year. Muffley tires the side. It's tied up, going to the bottom of the 6th in South Bend.
We've got a really tight ball game here in South Bend in the championship game of the ACC Championship. It started off in the 3rd. Kaylee Mudge put a really nice drag bunt down. And then Jahni Kerr, with her 15th double of the season, uses Mudge's speed to put a run on the board for Florida State. Fabulous response, though, in the 5th by Duke. Ground ball, uncharacteristic error by Muffley at short. She gets to 2nd, and then drag bunt sacrificed by Deanna Jennings at the top as they flip the lineup over, and Amina Vega with the walk, but the ball got away from Enfield behind the plate. Crazy the way Duke was able to manufacture a run and tie up the game.
It is an unearned run. Florida State scoring on that Kerr double back in the bottom of the 3rd. Both teams, Kerr and Reed respectively, started true freshmen in the circle. And then Lily Walker came in. She is still out there and faces Kerr, and that changeup has been lethal.
That is one pitch. If there were 2 pitches that I never had to see again as a batter, it would be the changeup and the rise ball. I was pretty effective at hitting the changeup, but that rise ball is so nasty when it can jump over the bat. With this huge change of speed that Duke's been able to bring into the circle, it's really struggled, or Florida State has really struggled to get that mix of speed and attack back up the middle.
Kerr behind 0-2 now. Kerr, Harding, and Edenfield, the 2, 3, 4 hitters, due up for the Seminoles. And Florida State leading the entire country in doubles this season. Kerr's was her 15th of the year and double 109 for this team. 109 doubles in 58 games. Kerr starts the 6th off with a solid single. Got baseball coming your way on Sunday night. It's the Cardinals and Red Sox at Fenway Park. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN. That was terrible. Deportes and radio. Coverage starts at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with baseball tonight. Sunday night countdown. Fenway Park's a fun place to go.
I played there when
Oh,
I
here
played
we
with
go.
the Colorado Silver Bullets.
Cool. Was it cool?
It was amazing to be able to play.
Wow. A lot of history. Ted Williams and Jenny Dalton hit there. Haley Harding, first pitch swinging. And another nice play by Davidson out and right to chase it down. It was up in the air a long time, but she had to cover some ground.
When I was worried that Davidson wasn't attacking this one hard enough out there in right, but she's just that fast. Times it up well. Nice little basket catch by the foul line. And because it's so close to first base, there's no chance for an advancement by Kerr.
Yeah, because with Florida State, you never know when they're going to tag up. But yeah, that was way too close, way too chancy. Edenfield, start her off with the changeup. Edenfield's pass ball that allowed Duke's run to score in the 5th inning. Pounced on that, what a play! On a goal dropped it, threw the ball away. Edenfield now at second, Kerr at third. And this could take a while to sort out.
I never saw an out call by any of the umpires. They're going to come together and have a conference to figure out what happened on that play. It was amazing jump and grab, but I don't know if the ball was ever secured to be able to record the out. But we are in the 6th inning. I think they can go to replay on their own without a challenge by the umpires, but this, I don't know that that ball was ever secured by the third baseman on a gold. It was a crazy, amazing athletic play to get it out of the sky, but I never saw the umpires signal an out. So as the ball, she goes up to get the ball, I thought perhaps it was on the transfer. That's what these umpires are trying to figure out. Over on third base, Travis Wilson was trying to figure out how to communicate to his base runners what they needed to do. The throwaway at first base made that play even more confusing as it got away over at first by Giselle Tapia. Well, with so many different miscues on that play at home plate, Kelly Torres' job is to get down the line to back up first base, but then she realizes she let home plate be unoccupied. So she has to hustle back to try to take care of the original. And looking at this list, Pam, I don't know that this is a reviewable play. It was not number 9, an uncaught fly ball. I think they're trying to figure out if the catch was made before all the other craziness ensued.
So we never saw the...
So the question is the catch made and then the miscue on the transfer, or was the ball never secured in the glove? That's the conversation by these umpires. But down the line, Robbie Guest in real time has to make this call.
And she has been called out. Both runners called out.
Well, and they're calling the line drive as a catch out, and then over at first base, Kerr never went back to first to tag up per se. She just continued to advance. So the throw over to first base, even though it got away from Tapia, they did come back and touch first base with the ball. So it results in a double play to get them out of the inning.
And according to what can be reviewed, they could not go back to see if it was a catch or not. So they just got together the old-fashioned way and decided that the drop came on the transfer and that Gold did secure the catch.
And so the ruling on the field is Gold over at third is credited with an out on the catch. The throw got away from Tapia, trying to double up Kerr, who never went back to first base to tag up. So they throw the ball back to first, but look, they don't touch first base when they bring the ball back into play. That's not how it is scored. So the inning, it goes down, and it's a double play to get him out of the inning. Crazy plays in the 6th to end the half inning. Duke, hard shot by Enfield to Gold at third. The umpires would rule that that is a catch. Did not come out on the transfer, or came out on the transfer, not on the catch. Kerr, who was the runner at first base, did not go back to first to tag on the catch at third. So as the ball came back into play, they said that the first baseman, Tapia, was able to touch first base and double off Kerr. So a double play off of an amazing shot by Michaela Enfield to the third baseman, Gold. Duke, that was a crazy end to the half inning, and it took quite a while for the umpires to sort it out.
The bottom line is we are tied. Going to the 7th inning in the championship game in the ACC. And you know who didn't think it was a caught ball? Anna Gold. Because as soon as it came out of her glove, she chucked that over to first.
Well, she also realized that Kerr was so far off of first base, she was going to be able to double her off. But she came up without a good throw. It got past the first baseman. I mean, that was just a lot of chaos. And we know that Florida State likes to create chaos on the base pass, but that one was definitely a unique one.
Sandercock comes out to start her 4th inning of work. Relieved McKenna Reed, who went 2 innings, gave up 2 hits. Jackson started off this game making a spectacular catch in left field. Now trying to get something done with the bat. Both teams with 1 hit, 1 run, 4 hits for Duke, 5 hits for Florida State.
And so the signal actually came from the home plate umpire, Alex Leap. He signaled out, so that is what had to be overturned in that conference with the umpires.
So the umpires decided indeed that it had been caught and that they were able to double Kerr off of first base. A crazy way to end the inning.
Well, Pam, in real time, I couldn't find an umpire who was signaling the catch, and so Travis Wilson, the third base coach for Florida State, continued to send the runners because I thought it would come from the third base umpire where the out was closest to, but it was signaled by the home plate umpire very quickly, and no one picked it up because of the craziness that came right after.
Full count to Jackson to start off the 7th inning. Duke trying to win its 2nd championship in 3 years. Florida State, the defending champs, who have 18 overall.
Perennial power coming up against the new kids on the block, looking for their 2nd time against the #1 seed in the ACC.
We have the top 2 seeds going head to head. Full count pitch on the way to Jackson. Duke did win the championship 2 years ago. It was a 1-0 nail-biter over Clemson. And much the same today. Unearned run. Lonnie Alameda stretch it out. The tension is palpable for all of the coaches. Another full count pitch on the way. Duke with a 6 RPI, Florida State a number 4, so locks to host regionals next week. Right, Jenny?
Yeah, both of these teams will be hosting the postseason. I have no doubt in my mind that both of these programs will be able to bring teams on campus and play at home in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Seminoles departed as the number 2 national seed last year at home in the regional round, something that has fueled them this season. Jackson off the fist, Keen, 1 away.
I can guarantee that one was a catch.
There you go. No need to discuss. Good at bat there for Jackson before she got jammed by Sandercock. Now the top of the order for Duke. Very dangerous one. Jennings and Davis due up next. You have the true freshman and then the fifth-year grad student. Jennings, top 10 finalist for National Freshman of the Year with some really gaudy offensive numbers. Chopped, Muffley playing in, retreated, and threw her out. There are literally no empty seats at Melissa Cook Stadium. Sellout crowd, just 957, second largest ever in a championship game. Tallahassee is a much bigger stadium, or a bigger stadium. They had 1,094 back in 2019. And this has been a really good week. Very well run by our hosts here at Notre Dame. A lot going on, baseball going on, everybody gearing up for graduation. Deja Davis fouls off her first pitch, first round of the NCAA men's lacrosse tournament. We have a game on campus here going on right now. They're playing Utah.
Well, the weather has been absolutely gorgeous. This is my first time in South Bend, and Pam, you tell me it's not like this all the time, but I struggle to believe you because it has been absolutely superb.
The first 3 days of the tournament, temperatures, especially the first couple days they were playing, temperatures around 80 degrees, nice and sunny. A little dodgy yesterday with some rain showers, but fortunately everything was. Davis down the right field line. Long run this time for Waykazer in foul territory. This is second straight 1-2-3 inning for Sandercock.
Well, in a 1-2-3 inning, and the crowd is on their feet with just 3 outs to play in regulation. Florida State trying to get the win.
Welcome back to the ACC on ESPN and the ACC Softball Championship going to the bottom of the 7th inning, 1-1 Duke and Florida State. Jahni Kerr double for Florida State. Duke scoring on a passed ball after a 2-base error to start off that inning, which was the 5th inning for Duke. Pam Ward and Jenny Dalton-Hill joining you as the sun is really trying to break through the clouds. Mac Leonard, Waykazer, Flaherty due up against Lily Walker, who came in to relieve starter Jahni Kerr in the 3rd inning. Mac Leonard had a big home run in the championship game last year when Florida State won that. Look into the bullpen. Jayla Wright, the veteran righty, is up for the 2nd time today. Walker gets Leonard to start things off in the 7th.
That's such a frustrating at-bat for Leonard, knowing that she's got a ton of power. Was fooled by the changeup, a little check swing nubber into the field of play. Definitely not how she wanted to go down to start off the inning.
Last year, a victory for Florida State over Clemson in the final. Clemson losing back-to-back finals. Last walk-off win in this championship game came in 2018 when Florida State was down 4-1 going to the bottom of the 7th, ended up winning 5-4. Good backhand by Gold, high throw, but Tapia was able to land on the bag and get the out. Actually, that's Davis, Deja Davis, pardon me, now playing at first.
I mean, we have not seen Deja Davis play a ton of defense this season, but now we got Twinkle Toes Davis down there at first base. Great vertical to get the catch off the Anna Gold throw that was way too high.
Davis, who had been a middle infielder before knee injuries forced her to play at DP, showing the skills by saving that throw. Spectacular defensive plays, especially earlier in this game on both sides. 2 out, nobody on for Flaherty.
This has been an impressive outing for Lily Walker. After coming in, she sat down Florida State with a strikeout to Harding, with Florida State coming in just really pressing, trying to push a bunch of runs across, and she has settled things down so nicely in the circle.
Right up the middle, gloved by Baker, but could not make a throw. Flaherty, a 2-out base runner.
And that's a great decision over there by Baker. Yes, she keeps the ball out of the grass, but there's no need to risk a throw to first base, especially since Deja Davis, a change has been made at first base. So great range by Baker to track that one down, but a smart play to hold it in her glove. The redshirt freshman with a really good heads-up play defensively.
Flaherty has stolen more bases than anyone in the ACC. Florida State as a team leads in that category as well. Keen, first pitch swinging, and it drops in front of Jackson, going all the way. Flaherty scores the winning run. The walk-off victory for the Seminoles, with Flaherty running hard the entire time from first base.
With 2 outs, Flaherty does not hesitate, taking off hard with contact, does not even pause. Hits second, and Travis Wilson waving her around. That right there shows the tenacity and the way that Florida State has played all season long. These players never panic. With opportunities and outs to play with, Florida State uses wheels, and they had the fastest runner on the bases to be able to do it. Devyn Flaherty. Ball hits the grass. She picks up her coach, and she is off to the races to score the winning run here in the ACC Championship.
The infield single that Baker didn't make a throw on because of the speed of Flaherty. And even if Travis Wilson had stopped her at third, I don't think she would have stopped. She was going full speed ahead. This is the first walk-off win in an ACC championship game since 2018. Again, they were down 4-1 going into the bottom of the 7th. And a 3-run home run by Anna Shellnut won it. Postseason Anna, now it's postseason Devyn. And Cameron Jackson just could not catch up. That's a bloop single by Keen. But it's the game-winning RBI, and Florida State, for the 14th time, has swept both the regular season and the championship titles.
Well, and for the 19th time, they have won the ACC championship here in South Bend, and now the sun will begin to shine.
And a heartbreaking loss for Duke, who will no doubt be hosting next weekend in the regional. And we are joined now by Devyn Flaherty. And first off, Devyn, congratulations. Boy, what a way to end the game. Just tell me what your thought process was on that blooper sent up there at the end by Keen.
Yeah, I mean, BK's been having great at-bats all day, so I knew she was going to get a ball in play, and I was just trying to do something on that, make a good base running read, get my team in a good situation to win that game any way I could.
Well, we'll let you catch your breath. That was a huge moment, scoring all the way from first base. But when it comes to Kathryn Sandercock in the circle, what has she been able to do this year that's maybe different from last year for your team?
Yeah, I mean, Kat's been amazing, just her ability to mix pitches.
Uh-oh, a water bath. Veteran move, though, to take away the
oh my God,
headset before you got doused. Go ahead and tell us about Kat.
Yeah, Kat's been amazing. Just her ability to pitch to her defense, her ability to be confident in situations. Coach talks about it a lot. Kat's been in those situations. She's done a great job. She's earned those situations. So we just have a lot of confidence playing behind her, a lot of confidence in her pitches, and it's really amazing.
Yeah, I think Coach Alameda just said she's the best after she hugged you. Congratulations. Go celebrate and dry off. We'll see you in the postseason.
Thank you.
Devyn Flaherty, what a job using her wheels. She was not just fast, she was fast, and that helped Florida State win their 19th ACC championship. For Jenny Dalton-Hill, I'm Pam Ward. For our entire crew, Todd Koulis, our producer, Paul Druzniak, our terrific director. Thanks to all. Big 12 championship game coming up next. Post-game ceremony coming up on ACC Network Extra. The Seminoles are the champs.